I'm doing my pathogen of the day on the Cucumber Mosaic Virus. But before we get started, I'd like to do a little bit review on plant viruses because it's been a while since we've really talked about them. So, overview of plant viruses. Plant viruses are more similar to animal viruses than they are to bacteriophages. The plant viruses may be enveloped or non-enveloped. And like many animal viruses, plant viruses can either have a DNA or RNA genome and be single-stranded or double-stranded. However, most plant viruses do not have a DNA genome. The majority have an ssRNA genome, which acts more like a messenger RNA. And most plant viruses are transmitted by contact between plants or by fungi, insects, and other arthropods that act as mechanical vectors. However, sometimes we see viruses that can only be transferred by a specific type of insect vector. Like, for example, a particular virus might be transmitted by aphids, but not whiteflies. So in some cases, viruses may also enter healthy plants through wounds, as we might see this like during pruning or weather damage. All right, and my pathogen of the day, once again, is Cucumber Mosaic Virus, or CMV. The family it belongs to is the Bromoviridae, and the genus is Cucumber Virus. The rest is there for you. I probably won't pronounce it right, but please feel free to take a look and absorb it all in. It is, like I said, a member of the genus Cucumber Virus. It does have a very broad host range because it infects thousands of plants of various plant families. And in fact, it has the reputation of having the widest host range of any known plant virus. A little bit of pathogen biology. So, the virion itself is non-enveloped, and it's spherical, and it's about 29 nanometers in diameter. The CMV consists of 3 of these spherical particles. The CMV genome consists of 3 single-stranded messenger-sense RNA molecules, and each RNA molecule is enclosed with a protective protein coat, with each being a distinctive spherical-shaped particle. To the right of your screen is a picture of what it looks like underneath the electron microscope. That bar at the bottom shows the width of 100 nanometers, so you can see what it looks like in comparison. A little bit of information on the steps of cytoplasmic replication. I'm not going to go through each one, but very basic steps are: step 1, virus penetrates into the host cell. Step 2, encoding and release of the viral genomic RNA in the cytoplasm. And step 3, expression of the proteins which you need to produce the replication proteins. Types of plants it infects. So the Cucumber Mosaic Virus, was named for the first plant it attacked, which was obviously a cucumber. It causes a lot of deaths among herbaceous and woody plant species as well. Ornamental plants tend to be among the largest number of victims, and this includes tulips, petunias, lilies, bamboo, and other herbaceous or woody plants. Some of the most important fruits and vegetables that are affected by CMV are peppers, bananas, squash, tomatoes, and cucurbits, which cucurbits is actually like a group name for cucumbers, melons, and squash, etc. CMV is also one of the most recurrent viruses infecting peppers in South Korea. There are slightly different symptoms here. You'll have severe foliar damage, mosaic and necrotic rings, and spots. And with cucumbers, they turn pale and bumpy. The leaves of these plants also turn mosaic, which makes them look wrinkled and misshapen. Often the fruits are oddly shaped and appear gray, and this has coined the term white pickles. So when you hear of that, they're referring to the appearance of what this disease makes cucumbers look like. Currently, there's no known risk of eating plants with the infected virus, but the cucumbers can taste better, so I wouldn't suggest it. All right, symptoms of CMV. So symptoms can be identified through several symptoms. This includes stunting in the growth, mottling on the leaves, and yellowing of the leaf's veins. One of the most indicative signs is through a behavior known as shoestring syndrome, and this is where the leaf edges become malformed and they do not continue to properly develop. We can also see a yellow strip that appears along inside the vein here. Transmission, my favorite. So the transmission of the virus can happen through insects such as aphids, grasshoppers, cucumber beetles, and whiteflies. They also might become infected through tampered soil, seeds or starter plants that may have been infected with this virus. CMV, although it tends to be primarily affected with aphids. So when it's transmitted by aphids, the virus has an acquisition period of 5 to 10 seconds and an inoculation period of just 1 minute. So solutions, what can we do? If you notice that your plant may be infected with a mosaic virus, there isn't much that can be done. Unfortunately, no cure is yet known by botanists. This is because the virus attacks the plant cells at the very core. And once they're infected, a plant will have that virus for pretty much the remainder of its existence. So that's why it's best to take immediate action. And once you're sure that your plant is infected, you want to carefully remove it. You do not want to add them to your existing compost pile because this will only allow the virus to spread. So instead, you must destroy all infected plants. So how can we avoid problems with the cucumber mosaic in the future? You can buy certified virus-free seeds and plants. You can consider using CMV-resistant varieties of lettuce, spinach, cucumbers, and melons and squash. Those are available out there. Seed catalogs often contain information on CMV resistance, and it can be very useful. And most importantly, you want to remove the weed hosts whenever possible around your garden. And mulch vegetable and ornamental gardens, you want to inhibit that weed growth. So another good way is to use floating row covers where possible to prevent the aphids from reaching susceptible plants. And you can see that to the right of the screen. And finally, don't use insecticides to control the aphids because sometimes the treatments are usually not acting fast enough to prevent the aphids from transmitting the CMV. And it's said that it can actually stimulate the aphids to move and feed more widely, thus increasing the spread of the virus. So I would avoid doing that. All right, and I think that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to shout me a message on Blackboard discussion or email. All right, thanks.